Scene 1. Secret Cave. Before you is a cave. It is your final waypoint in preparation for tonight's investigation, which lies another mile down the road. The area is lightly wooded, and the cave is 24 paces off the road, its mouth hidden by thick weedy brush that is damp from recent rain. You found refuge here as a youngling during the dark times. Tonight, however, is not for cowards. You have come to bind a spirit, a supernatural being, into your soul to secure her power. In a prehistoric age, her title was Cave Mother, and the cave itself is a totem that can alight her generosity. A few hours earlier, back in town, you bound another spirit, and together, you know they will make a fine pair to crush the unholy creatures of the night that slumber at your final destination. But first, you must clear a path into the cave. What's your approach? Do you mostly 1. Apply fire, 2. Clear with gloved hands, 3. Just push through, or 4. Slash with your sword? That's where we're going to stop. That was an excerpt from Dario Nardi's book, Night Journey of the Soul. It's a gothic adventure playbook. You have dice and you interact with the book. Hopefully you have dice. You can pick them up somewhere. You need a D20, so a 20-sided dice, and a D6 for some of the healing rolls and things like that. You have 6 different stats: brawn, agility, intellect, faith, charm, and endurance. You choose one of those and you choose your course of action from the given list, and you roll the d20 and hopefully you don't fail the test. And if you succeed, then you continue on to the next scene or the next portion of that scene. If you don't, you go back in some way, or you take some damage, or, well, not go back, but like you have to try the test again. So it's a pretty cool book. It was an easy read. It's got a nice theme, a nice setting, a nice environment to go through. You need to make sure you have a way of playing it. You can't just read through it and pick random numbers, right? I want to talk a little bit about a couple different aspects. Some things that I liked about the book, the perspective that it was written in, and a little bit more about what Radiance RPG is. It's Dario Nardi's book. First of all, the things that I liked about it. This is just my opinion, right? But 1, I liked the immersive nature of it. Like you pick up loot, right? You go through it. You're going through a crypt. Like an abandoned church, I suppose. And through there, you're picking up different loot and you're destroying vampires and things like that. It's really cool. So when you do that, it says you got this much gold and you got these items, and you write them down and you track it, right? Just like you would in a normal role-playing game. So that was cool. It really, brought you into the game. You end up using some of those items if you have them as well. The setting is cool. I enjoy vampires. And a little bit of electrotech spice that it had is cool. I also liked that it's a dude. It's one chief investigator, or a dudette, that's going through this adventure, and that person has these spirits that they have pulled into them, summoned and brought into them, invited in, and they're embodying these as they go through the adventure and asking for guidance and for support and advice. And I thought that was a really cool setting to go through. There's a little bit of like turmoil between, because you have 2 different spirits within you that are kind of offering support, right? And if you want to listen to them, you can, but there are sometimes some drawbacks for it as well. So pretty cool. A lot of interaction within the self. So I like that. And with that, there is just a lot of interaction in general. Like you have usually 3 or 4 different choices. It was difficult for me, honestly, because one, as an INFP, I don't make choices very well unless I've made the choice, unless I've decided like this is the way I'm going to do it. Then I probably won't budge from it. But usually it's like, oh, that's good. That sounds nice. Could do that. Which one's best? And you just like weigh it out constantly. And so that there was some choice paralysis for me. You know, I was just like, I want to take all the choices. Can I do that? You can't do that. And you don't want to do that. Not all of them. Also, as I said, it's an easy, quick read. So I was talking to Dario a little bit about it, and he shared with me some of the points that he used to guide his story writing for this. So I'm going to go through just a little bit. If you don't want to hear this, you might want to skip over this, but he said that it was written from an ISTP's perspective. So the chief investigator is essentially an ISTP, but there is room to make your own choices, right? You have those 4 or 5 different choices that you can just do it your own way, right? And you can build your stats a little bit too, you know, the faith and charm and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily need to play it as an ISTP. He crafted it from that perspective. So if you're interested in ISTPs, that might be another reason to check this out. He wrote it with more numerous, shorter scenes. The scenes are quick. You can just burst through them if you have your D20. And it's, you know, it keeps the excitement up a little bit. It keeps it entertaining, and it's action heavy. There's not a lot of dialogue, right? You get to go through and fight stuff and adventure, which is really nice. Not a lot of social interaction. There are some, and some of it's within you, possibly dealing with that introverted intuition aspect of yourself, and also with some other characters as well. He's a chief investigator, and he's out there fighting vampires alone. So he's a badass. He's got his tools, he's got his equipment, and he's taking on the adventure to come in front of him, right? So I thought that was really cool. I mean, it fit with my understanding, especially from the people that I know that are ISTPs. Strong visuals, very visually crafted, which is good. I mean, it gets you into the scene. It might overwhelm some people, like myself, but I don't think it's a big problem. I mean, it's a book. If you've read a book, then you'll be fine. He's got his goal, and he's using all of his skills to reach that goal. I thought that's also very fitting of possibly an ISTP too. He's got a strong moral core. This is what Dario Nardi said. He's got a strong moral core, but he is pragmatic, and he does what's necessary. So like he analyzes it. He's like, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and here are the options, and you as the reader get to choose which one, and hopefully it's the one that's gonna help you out the most. There are some interactions, as I said before, with the inner terrain of introverted intuition, and there's a little bit of, I guess, going into the weaknesses that could come from dealing with alcohol and stuff like that. I mean, it comes up, and you have it as an item that you can use. So maybe overly using a substance could be something that some people relate to. All right, but that's enough of that. I thought that was good to point out some of the stuff, some of the guideposts, and some of my own interpretations within that, and explaining it. All right, and with that too, there were times where I wanted to choose the correct answer instead of just playing as I would, right? So I think it's important before you go into this, as you would in an RPG, like define your character a bit. You know, this is who I am. I got these stats. Maybe add a couple little backstory tweaks or something like that for your own self, so that when you play it, it's like you have more guidance along the choices that you'll make, instead of you know, going into it knowing that you want to make these kind of ISTP type choices. Does that make sense? Or you can play it like that too. Also, I have bad luck. So like I crit failed. Like I rolled like a 1 about 4 times throughout this story. So it was just like I was sitting down at the table with my boys and failing rolls and bringing havoc to the party, because I would roll 1, okay, I failed that. Roll again, 3, all right, okay. Well, hopefully next time I can get through this check without losing too much health, you know. And that's fun. It's part of the game, but it was something that I personally struggled with just because of luck, and also a lot of music in whichever way you do it. Something that's obviously not like boo chicka boo chicka boo, but some kind of maybe Celtic music is what I kind of went to, or going through a dungeon or something like that. Like you can find it online, but it really helped me go into the setting and not worry too much about overanalyzing everything and trying to pick through it and cheat the game, right? Like play through it, enjoy it, right? And music helped me do that. Also, there are apps that you can get to roll, so you don't always have to carry the dice on you. It was difficult for me to read it a lot of times because I would be like, okay, I'm gonna read it today, and I would have my D20, and then I would be on the crowded train in Tokyo, and I was like, I just can't read it. I mean, I can read the chapter, but then I want to finish it. I want to know what's going to happen. You know, I want to play through this. Also, you get a character sheet that kind of comes with it, but you can print it off and you can carry it in your wallet or whatever, or you could just load it up in Notepad and keep track of what's going on, which was the way I did it, you know, just to keep it all on my phone. You can also check out Dario Nardi's Radiance RPG book at www.radiancerpg.com, and it's got a full free to play playbook. If I remember correctly, I read it years ago, but it was also, I know it's Electrotech, it's set in the same universe, and it was pretty heavy with the choices. Like you can really flesh out your character, maybe kind of more like Pathfinder and things like that. A lot of different options within there and different classes that you can build yourself up. So that's pretty cool. Also, just because it's Dario Nardi and he's also into RPGs and things like that, you know, it's good to support that, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this, right? I want to share what's going on in that so you can help him out as well. So also, there's one really cool thing at the end of the book. When you finish it, it gives you a couple guide points to move it over to your favorite RPG style, right? Or whatever the system is. So you can play through the adventure using the rooms and the location that he set out, the vampires and their stats a little bit and stuff like that too. After I read it, I wanted to play through it again. Like not read through it, but play through it and see what it would be like, because I thought that was a really cool addition to it. All right, so hopefully I'll be able to get some friends over or just play it by myself. Oh. So I really do hope you pick up the book. It's going to be a good read. It's entertaining. You get to play through it, and you also get some insight, I suppose, into an ISTP, perhaps, as you are playing the chief investigator, going through destroying these vampires and doing some other cool stuff. All right, so check it out. Good luck, have fun. Peace.